My name is Achille Togbeto. I'm the Director of Governance in IPPF, working in our central office based in London. Young people have always been the core of IPPF, but the reality was they were nowhere to be seen. There were no seats for them around the table to be involved in any decision making. So we did have a governance reform in 1999, where we introduced 20% youth at a global level. But there was no requirement for member association. They were encouraged to do something. But you know, when you set up something for the global level, and there is no provision at member association level where representatives come from to attend the global level, you can imagine what that will be. So it was a challenge to achieve that. Then the first two phases of accreditation from 2003 imposed now one young person per governing body. But when you take some of the governing body with 15 people, those days there were many, with only one young person around, imagine how difficult it was for them to contribute. The process to appoint those were not clear neither. So it was mainly based on who do you know, how close you are with the president or with the executive director. So it was out of all this and seeing the frustration when we claim that we are a youth center organization, but in reality, young people were nowhere, or when they have the opportunity, they are more there to sell the adult, to bring tea, to bring coffee, but they were not respected as a equal trustee. So having learned all this and struggled through all these processes at different levels of the federation, IPPF, through the third phase of accreditation, revised its standards of membership and now require all member associations to have at least 20% young people in their governing body at member association level, just to ensure that the practice that exists at a global level and at a regional level at that time also now is what is being practiced at country level. The young people themselves play a pivotal role to ensure that this is a reality. The most recent example I'll give you is the most recent governance reform IPPF embarked in 2019. If not of the youth, in the governing council at that time, there were 6 out of 18 members with voting right. If not of them, I can promise you that IPPF will not be in existence today. We'll have collapsed. We were going into all the wrong direction. We were having internal fights, and the young people step up and said, now is enough. Listen to us now. We need to reform the way we do business. We need to look at ourselves critically. So there were those who led what we call at that time, not only the transition committee, but also the small board within the board to give support to the management team to see the establishment of the first independent governance commission to lead the process that takes us to Delhi in November, December 2019, that see the new IPPF we are currently seeing with a new governance structure, with a new way of operating, with more agility. I insist on that. Without that reform led by the youth, there was no possibility whatsoever for IPPF at a global level to make a decision between 2 board meetings. It was a complete chaos. Now we lived in a pandemic area. We were able to make quick, agile, flexible, and great decisions to see this federation remain and play the role it was set to play. So this was possible because of the young people. That takes me back to my teenage age, long ago. I don't look that old, but it was a long time ago. In my native country where I joined as a volunteer myself, as a peer educator, I go through the ladder learning, being in school, talking about sexual reproductive health, distributing condoms, bringing awareness around HIV/AIDS and the family planning method that were available for university students at that time. I was lucky enough, by the time I graduated from university, I got the opportunity to do an internship in one of the regional offices based in Kenya at that time. Again, found my chance to become a staff, navigated through the ladder as an accreditation officer, accreditation advisor, governance and accreditation advisor. And since 2009, I've applied. It was not a present. I applied for the current job I'm holding, which I've been leading since 2009 as a Director of Governance and Accreditation for the Federation. We are working towards that. We are not yet there. It's a long journey, as you can imagine, for two generations to speak the same language with different approach to life. I see my daughter today having her first tablet when she was 6. I got my first laptop when I was 27. So that shows you the difference. And the way the young people approach things today is completely different from the generation our parents and those before them belong to. So it is about not creating competition, but encouraging that dialogue between the generation so that decisions that are made for the young people are made with them, and that there is no conflict or competition between, but all coming together to ensure that we serve those we stand for, the women, the more vulnerable, the girls, and the young people around the globe who will not exist without our service and without the work we do.